Home sales are going up nationwide. Take a look at this article that the National Association of Realtors published last week. And I'm going to link it down below in the description so you can read the whole article. But it's saying existing home sales were up 5.1% in December of 2025. And that is up to the highest levels it's been in nearly 3 years. Now, all home types, so including new construction, nationally, in December, it was up 1.4%. But how does that stack up to what we saw actually here in the Utah market? That's what I'm talking about today. Now, I know you might be thinking, why are we talking about December stats at the end of January? But there's been a bit of a shift in the market that I'm seeing here locally. And so I want to talk about that because we are heading into the spring market sooner than people realize. And so this could be an indication of what's to come. And that's what I'm also going to talk about in the video today. So let's jump into it. Okay, so first, before I jump into how Utah stacks up compared to that national statistic, I want to show you this graph of the absorption rate here in Utah, which is the supply versus demand. So how many homes do we have on the market compared to how many we're selling? And you can see here the blue line is the months of supply. So in November, it was up pretty high. And then in December, it dropped down, which is to be expected with seasonal changes, right? But you can see we're sitting at, over a 2.5 months supply of homes on the market here in Utah. And we did see an increase in active listings in December of 2025 compared to December of 2024. It was actually a 19% increase in active listings. So we were sitting at just under 12,000 homes actively listed on utahrealestate.com for December of 2025, 11,714 homes. But don't let that number fool you, because here is how Utah is stacking up compared to that national statistic that was put out last week. So here in Utah for December of 25 compared to December of 2024, we actually saw a 5% increase in sales across the state of Utah. So in 2024, there was 3,095 homes sold in December. December of 25, we had 3,250. Now, depending on where the stats are and who's providing them within the utahrealestate.com website for us as agents, the numbers are a little bit skewed. But I want to show you this graph that was put out by one of the vendors that utahrealestate.com has for tracking our stats in the state. And you can see the closed sales for December of 2025 compared to 24 and 2023. That's the bar graph there. So we had over 3,300 sales according to this statistic. And then year to date is there in the center of this graph. And you can see even year to date, we are higher than we were in 24 or in 2023. And then over on that far right column, it just kind of breaks it down every single month in 2025 compared to the prior year, and if that was up or down each month. Now, closed sales were no different than pending home sales. So this is an important signal because even though our active listings are up, so are our under contract or pending sales and our closed sales in December of 2024. So take a look at the pending sales graph. We had almost 3,500 pending sales in December of 2025. And then you can see it there compared to 2024 and 2023. We were up. And then same thing on that far right side. It breaks down every single month of 25 compared to 2024. And if that was a positive or negative compared to the year prior. So overall, the 2025 market was getting stronger, and the December stats were actually better here in Utah with pending sales than what they reported nationally. Now, one thing I do want to point out is Our average sales price did go down in December of 2025 compared to December of 2024, but it wasn't much. And kind of like what I said, depending on where you look in the MLS, the stat is a little bit different. But in December of 2024, the average sales price for the entire state of Utah, all housing types, it was just under $673,000 in December of 2024. It was actually $672,775. So UtahRealEstate.com, not their vendor, reported when I pulled these statistics that the December 2025 average sales price was $671,917. So not quite $1,000 decrease in the average sales price of December 24 compared to December 25. But still, it was a decrease. Even though we saw a small decrease in average sales price, we did see an increase on the average days on market. So for December of 2025 here in Utah, it was sitting at 72 days on the market. Compared to November, it was 68 days. So not a huge increase, but 4 days is 4 days, kind of to be expected with our inventory up. Holiday month, people are not usually in the market to buy or sell unless they have to, like job relocations, major life event changes. We kind of expect a slowdown in December, but statistically, you can see, as I've outlined, we really didn't have much of a slowdown. We had a better December than we have in a couple of years. So what does that mean going into the market? I actually have a listing in Draper that we listed in the beginning of September. We were on the market for over 100 days on the townhouse, which, that was pretty normal. The townhouse market has really slowed down and condos has really slowed down in 2025. Well, we were just over 100 days on the market. We received an offer. Well, just last week, we got a backup offer on that property. So it was on the market over 100 days with no offers. And then within a 30-day window, we have 2 offers on this place. Now, whether that's because we are seeing a decrease in interest rates coming down, I've been saying this for years, that when rates came down, my prediction was when we hit the, low to mid fives, we were going to see all that pent up buyer demand for the last couple of years flood the market and buyers were going to come into the market. Now, I hope we do not see a 2021 again. I really don't love that, where we're having bidding wars and driving prices up and all of that. But I do think it's an early indication, if interest rates continue to drop or stay where they're at, that buyer demand is going to start hitting the market, and it's going to be a busy spring and summer market here in Utah. If you are thinking about making a real estate move in 2026, I'd love to connect with you. Give me a call or shoot me a text. That is the best way to reach me. But as always, make it a great day.